It can only be attributable to human error.
You're entering paranormal.
He meddled in things that you
Where will we go next? Just phantoms from another time.
No one but the mother.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
That is one big pile of shit.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Cryptid Campfire.
Stop. That drove me nuts on the last episode.
What? Did I do that?
Yeah, because I've been
I didn't.
editing and I've been like, Alex will be talking. No.
I have never made that noise
Yes,
before.
you have.
No, I
Go listen
haven't.
to Gargoyles. It's right within the first 30 seconds.
I
you
did
go
not.
Whatever you just did, you do it.
Yes.
That? I listened to it last night.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, and we hope you guys listen to that episode as well. Welcome to Cryptid Campfire, everybody. That part's definitely staying in the intro. My name is Alex Daikaiju. To my left is...
Jasmine with.
And across from me, choking his lungs out.
Eli.
And today, we are on part 2 of Mothman.
Yeah.
Last week, we talked about part 1, the history of Point Pleasant, the history of Mothman, sightings, and today we're gonna
ruin it.
Yeah, last week we had a structure, we had an outline. This time we're going kind of freeform jazz style with it, kind of sitting around a campfire talking about cryptid style.
And we're gonna talk about talk about how Mothman isn't real.
Oh, well, good night,
gonna
everybody.
Debunk it. Possible explanations for what these people saw.
Actually, this is confirmed. No, I'm joking.
So, what do you guys have for, I guess, explanations of what Mothman
Actually,
is?
I have that Mothman is Joe Nickel.
Who's that?
I'm joking.
He's worth a penny and a dime?
No, I'm glad you asked. Who is that? Because who is that? Joe Nickel
Who be that?
is an author and investigator with the Committee for Skeptical Inquiry. And
I know who that is.
Oh.
He's in my notes, too.
Oh. Take it away.
No, you take it away.
I don't know what that was. So, Joe Nickel says that Mothman is just an owl because he likes to suck the life out of everything. And I wrote that in my notes.
He likes to get to the center of the Tootsie Pop?
Yeah, pretty much. And count it when he's going down there. Anyways, he also stated that the Flatwoods monster is also a barn owl because, like I said, he likes to suck the life out of everything he touches.
We mentioned that in our Flatwoods monster episode, that it could have been an owl in a dress.
Could have been.
Yeah.
Might have been.
But it was just an owl going out on a date.
But yeah, he's for the idea that it was just an owl, saying that they're native to West Virginia. They have an unusual shape with large legs, nocturnal, large eyes which reflect the light, distinct red glow due to blood-rich vascular tissues within the eye, and large
you just
wings.
skipping over everything.
What are you talking about?
What do you mean? Because they thought it was a barn owl first, and then they were like, oh wait, no, it can't be because their eyes don't shine bright enough. And then they were like, it's a barred owl.
A bard?
Like
Sir William
I thought
Shakespeare?
I thought you just said barn instead of bard. I thought we were talking about that.
Well, Flatwoods monster was a barn owl.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, Jasmine.
Bard.
That's what
Owl.
That's what Mr. Nickel says.
Yeah, I know it is. I believe you. Because
they're
they have
pretty
a
creepy looking.
dramatic crimson eye shine due to the amount of blood vessels around the eye.
This is true.
Or there was the sheriff who said it was like a big heron bird.
Yeah,
Yes.
but he was a liar.
And he called it a shite poke.
That's biologist
And
Dr.
they quickly took the mic away from him.
Robert L. Smith at West Virginia University. He said he told the Associated Press that the descriptions matched the large American crane, which has a 7-foot wingspan and also has red coloring around the eyes, and that the bird, quote, may have wandered out of its migration route. So we've got crane, or we've got owl, but there's more information about the possibility of it being an owl. That
Well,
I
it's
think
not
we
a
wanna
shite
hit.
poke. So.
Oh, no.
Did you get the thing about how supposedly a local man dressed in a Halloween costume and had hidden at night at the abandoned munitions complex, the TNT area? But
no.
it's not really credible because like 12 people have come forth and said that they were the one to do that.
How
Really?
is the man?
Yeah.
The man in the costume.
Yeah.
The man dressed as a
No,
shite
I
poke.
didn't have
Yeah.
anything on that.
Well, it's not true. So.
The only thing I got about the TNT area is that there's a large population of barred owls that live on the refuge, so
Yeah.
the possibility of it being an owl is very high.
Yeah.
What owls?
Barred, B-A-R-R-E-D.
There's a barred owl population at the TNT factory, and they're booming.
Oh.
But the question is, how do you go from a 17 to 20-inch owl to a 6-foot horror?
Oh.
That's the question.
Helium balloons.
How do you mistake? How do you mistake an
Swamp
owl?
gas.
So yeah, swamp gas.
Swamp gas. It was mutated swamp gas.
Did you read anything about the episode of Monster Quest that they did?
I did.
With this experiment?
Yeah,
Ooh, what was this?
I did.
So, when they were trying to figure out, like, how can you mistake, like, a small owl for, like, a giant creature,
Mm-hmm.
it's an episode from 2010, Monster Quest. So this guy, Nichols, he, drove volunteers down a road lined with plywood Mothman,
Mm-hmm.
and they had, like, bike reflectors for eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently none were able to, like, identify the correct size of these cutouts. So there's a quote, it's very hard to judge the size of something seen at night at an unknown distance, and if you misjudge how far away it is, you misjudge its height by the same proportion. So basically, if you ever see anything, like, you can't really give an accurate guess on how big it is. And then couple that with the fact that people are scared, so
Right.
they tend to fixate on the object of their fear, which makes it larger, and, you know, so...
That's what happens when I see the woman in my room at night. You know, I just get scared and then I close my eyes and then she's bigger and closer.
The bent neck lady?
Oh. Started off as a bad joke and now it's actually freaking me out.
Yeah. I think she's waving behind you.
Stop!
That is gonna be so loud.
It's gonna.
Okay, so Eli doesn't like The Haunting of Hill House. We've gathered this much. Moving on.
I'm like actually
Heron?
disturbed.
We have
Heron?
where we're recording. There's a door that
Heron.
Eli's back is to, and there's like little windows there. And now he's like all jumpy about.
Not to mention, check this out, okay?
Tangent.
Okay, this is a tangent. I've related to you the stories of how I've seen ghosts in this house. I'm not going to share that on the podcast this particular time. But when that other chap used to live here in this room, he told me one night when I was away that he felt a presence looking at him from outside of these very doors. Like looking at him from the, you know, and I was just like,
Yeah.
That would
maybe
be
you
pretty
should.
freaky.
So like,
Put some posters up on those.
yeah.
So back on track
To add
with the
to
Mothman.
that, to the owls though.
Yes, owls.
Barn owls, even though they say it's not barn owls, but they make hisses and clicks with their mouths.
They
So-
beatbox.
Yeah, pretty much. So, and barn owls already look pretty freaky. So, I've actually had an experience with a barn owl where it flew at me,
Oh,
and it was in a barn.
so you've seen the Mothman?
You saw the Flatwoods Monster?
So tell us about the time you saw the Flatwoods Monster.
Okay, so
What did he look like? What did he do?
How many did you see?
Yo, how the turntables.
Did he touch you inappropriately?
How the turntables.
This episode's off to a great start. I love it already. Did you guys get the? So we're talking about owls.
Yeah,
herons.
he
Mr.
saw an
Asa
owl.
Henry.
Who's that?
He during the time of the Great Mothman escapades in Point Pleasant, there was a giant snowy owl that showed up, and this guy Asa Henry shot it and killed it.
Oh.
And it was dubbed a giant owl because even though it was only 2 feet tall, it had a wingspan of nearly 5 feet. And then he claims, this Mr. Asa Henry, he says that after he killed the owl, the Mothman sightings stopped, which it's like, no, bruh, they didn't. But
The fool.
Oh.
Oh, the Yeti fell.
no.
Oh.
Will you grab it for me?
Yes. Excuse me.
Eli got me a stuffed Yeti for my birthday, everyone. So that'll be on the Instagram, I'm sure.
It was stuffed by Jimmy Stewart.
That would be wild.
Let's
So
see.
besides a heron and besides an owl,
It could be an undiscovered species of owl.
well, that's what everything could be. Everything is an undiscovered species of something.
It's an
just saying.
undiscovered heron disguised as an owl. One of my theories is because there's a TNT area, the factory where the couple saw the Mothman for the first time. It'd been, there since World War II for ammunition manufacturing. That has underground tunnels and bunkers, and some people think it leaks toxic waste, and has been mutating the wildlife.
Could be a mutated owl.
A mutated owl moth.
Owl moth?
Yeah, could be a mutated sandhill crane. Did you guys get the theory about it being the U.S. military?
Whoa, no.
No.
Yeah, so check this out.
Are we getting into the crazy stuff now?
Well,
Not quite yet.
quite. This one's interesting. So, there's speculation that the Mothman might have actually been people in flying suits or parachutes. Because apparently in 1966, the Green Berets, the parachutes were like using luminous paint to try out new techniques before, they put it over in Vietnam. And I guess they used to practice in like the forest hills of Point Pleasant because it was kind of like nobody really saw them.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
But people did.
Yeah.
So was it just a bunch of Green
Mothman.
Berets in luminous paint, parachuting, parasailing, or did they have jetpacks maybe? I don't know. You tell me.
Have you seen those videos? I definitely believe they could have had jetpacks back then.
Yeah.
Because have you seen those videos of the hover car that they made in the 60s?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that was like legit. Like it's just a fan. It's just a giant fan that makes it hover off the ground.
Yeah.
But it's definitely quite a few feet off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And so like hovercrafts exist, everybody, but nobody
That's
uses
true.
them.
It's they're gonna be electric.
Yeah, by the end of this year.
Yeah, they're coming out.
And then a
and
guy
Elon
named,
Musk was gonna send them to Mars.
and he's also gonna create AI robots.
That smoke weed.
Okay, yeah. Why not? I don't even know how that would work, but I have another hoax.
Hoax?
Hoax?
This is confirmed by a Point Pleasant
Okay.
local. But it's only one dude who said this, so I don't know how much credence there is to it. But it's basically said by this guy named Rush Finley. Why is that so funny to you?
I don't know, but
Because
we
he
both
was in a
laughed.
rush to get his story told.
Okay, well,
That's a good name.
Mr. Rush Finley, he owns the historic Low Hotel. And
Low
Point
prices hotel.
No, it's like Lowe's, but without the S.
It's a hardware store that you can sleep in.
The caveat is you have to make your own bed.
But you can't find the pieces.
So, he said that there was construction workers, which is funny now that we're talking about a hardware store.
See, it all comes around.
Construction workers had used helium from welding tanks to make balloons from sheet plastic, and they tied red flashlights to them one night. But
Just for funsies?
well, they were like weighted
schnitz
too.
and
Yeah,
giggles?
yeah. For
Wait, is this after the initial sighting
I'm
and
not
they were trying to make
sure.
another sighting, or is
I'm-
this supposed to be the first one?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea. But it says, thus weighted, these Mothmen did not soar high, but only drifted over the treetops.
Oh, and one of them got loose and flew all the way to Roswell, New Mexico, and crashed.
This was like 10 years after that, my friend.
It time traveled.
Time traveled.
And that leads me to my theory.
Oh boy.
This theory
Is a
comes.
dinosaur?
No, that'd be awesome. This theory comes to us from John Keel himself, actually.
Oh.
Let me find it real quick. So, John Keel, who you remember is the guy who wrote Mothman Prophecies, has been like the forefront of all of Mothman knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
He proposed the idea of window areas, which throughout the world are connecting portals that connect our world to other worlds, mostly parallel dimensions. And the theory is that Point Pleasant has a few, because I would explain, because there's like UFO sightings and other weird stuff that happens in West Virginia. So maybe a Mothman crawled in and out
Yeah.
of a window area.
It's like a real life Twin Peaks.
Yeah, he refers to entities that can do this as ultra-terrestrials. They're capable of crossing dimensions at will, and sometimes they act as cosmic pranksters. Like they pull jokes and stuff. So
That'd be kind of fun.
I know.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
if
the
I
mo-
had the ability to jump through dimensions, I'd be like,
Yeah, it'd
Pulling
be
some
so good to
pranks.
go to like a parallel dimension.
I would
and
just steal
like,
somebody's car, like
pants
GTA
people.
style.
Yeah.
Steal somebody's car and then just jump back over here.
Yeah.
I'd be like, what? I don't
Um,
know.
But there's the theory that not only are these window areas real, which they are, but they're being used by Mothman and other cryptids that disappear.
Like Bigfoot.
The Bigfoots, the Yetis, the Flatwoods monsters, what have you. The Dover demons. But they're not just mindless creatures running around. They're interdimensional tourists.
They're coming to visit.
Yeah.
I believe it.
They're coming
That's
for
a
snips
thing.
and giggles to look at our world and have a laugh. And they photobomb stuff.
I like that theory.
Yeah.
I like the idea of creatures just visiting for fun.
Yeah,
Just-
and there's the theory
Right.
that Mothman might be he's like a scout who goes to like different areas and is like, oh, this place is pretty dope. I'll sell the Sasquatches this land.
Oh
for
my
visit." Or
gosh.
if he goes somewhere, he's like, oh, this place is a dump. We'll cross off this window area. So they're interdimensional tourists.
Interesting.
Yeah.
like
But
that.
sometimes their shenanigans lead to a bridge collapse.
Oh.
Just
Yeah.
like when Americans go overseas and deface thousands, millions year old monuments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're America.
Yeah.
And wait, I don't know where
So-
this is
They're
going.
American. What?
They-
So Mothman, America, think about it, won't you?
all I'm saying is you've never seen me and Mothman in the same room.
Yeah.
At the
And
same
you do
time.
have really red eyes all the time.
I'm completely fine right now.
I'm freaking out.
I don't know about last week though.
Yeah.
I don't have any recollection of last week.
You went full
I don't think-
Shaggy.
Any of us have any recollection of anything we ever record, just
Yeah.
for the simple fact that we research one thing very strongly for an entire week, and then we like regurgitate all of the information,
Yeah.
and then we block it out because we're onto a new subject.
Yeah,
Right,
it's,
right.
it's just like every week it's a big info dump of like, oh, we got all this research we put together. You expel it out of your body.
And then you never have to
You
think
never-
about it
yeah.
again.
But it's so fun.
Yeah, and
It
then I
is.
have to go back and listen to the episodes because I don't remember what
I know, literally.
There's that one where you forgot what where you forgot during the podcast.
Yeah, there's a
What-
lot going on.
Well, we don't want to ruin all the fun, so we're gonna get into some of the creepier aspects of the Mothman legend.
The
Mhm.
Mothmans.
The more paranormal theories and
And it begins
conspiracies.
just a little bit over a year before the collapse of the bridge.
Mm.
Is that vacuum cleaner going to be audible from?
Let's take a
Are
look.
we being visited by an interdimensional being?
It doesn't look like it is.
All right.
Cool.
So it begins with a salesman named Woodrow Derenberger.
Yeah, that's his name.
Why is that?
I don't know who this person is. What is this?
This
Okay.
is the man.
You have a picture of him?
Yeah.
Woodrow! Oh, yeah.
He looks like George C. Scott.
Yeah, he kind of does. So he's driving down Highway 77 near Parkersburg, West Virginia. And let's see. It's November 2nd, 1966. This is just 10 days before that first sighting at the TNT area.
Mm.
Okay.
And it's around 7:30 p.m. So he's a salesman for a sewing company, and he was returning from Ohio.
Hey.
How many Mothmen have you seen? To his home in Mineral Wells, West Virginia. And out of nowhere, near Parkersburg, another vehicle flew up and passed him. And he said this vehicle was floating about 6 inches off the ground.
Oh, literally flew.
Yeah,
it
it
looked like a kerosene lamp chimney.
Yeah. And then it flew in front of him and then turned sideways and forced him to slow down. And that's when the vehicle floated up, I think, about 40 feet up into the air. And I think,
About
about 40 feet.
It cuts across from him, stops, but before it flies off, the door opens.
The door opens, and a grinning man steps out of the vehicle.
And shuts with a big thunk.
Yeah.
And then a few seconds later, the vehicle climbs 40 feet into the air above the highway.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said that the man had a dark suit. He walked to the right side of his truck, spoke to him telepathically, asked him to roll his window.
Yeah, roll down his window.
And then he said that, Darren Berger, I mean you no harm.
Sorry, what does this have to do with the Mothman?
We're gonna get there.
Okay.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
Okay.
First, we gotta talk about Grinning Man before we can get to Mothman.
Yeah. So, Grinning Man asked Darren Berger what he was called. So Darren. And you just keep going, because I can't speak.
Puzzled, Darren Berger kind of assumes that the guy's maybe asking his name, so he tells him. And in response, the stranger said that he was called Cold. Darren Berger. So this guy gets out of this
Right.
like flying kerosene lamp.
Right. Okay.
Speaks telepathically. Is like, my name is Cold, ice cold. Nice to meet you. That he said he could see.
Parkersburg, the lights from Parkersburg.
Yeah.
And he's like, yo, what's that?
Yeah. The guy Cold asked Darren Berger, "What's that over there?" Darren Berger told him that he was seeing the city of Parkersburg. Cold then asked if that's where people live. Derringer said no. Parkersburg is more of a place of business, and most of the people live on the outskirts of town. Cold went on with his strange questions for a little while longer, after which Cold seemed satisfied with what he learned. He looked at Darren Berger and said, "It's been nice talking to you, Mr. Darren Berger. We'll be seeing you again." And then turned and started to walk away from the truck. And as he did that, the strange craft began to descend again. The door opened. The guy climbed back in, shut behind him with another tunk. And Darren Berger had heard before, and sped away into the night.
Yep. And then, 2 days later, while driving in his car, Darren Berger began to receive telepathic communications from Cold.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't get
Yeah. And then he wrote a whole book on this. I'm going to touch on it very briefly because it's a whole nother wormhole. But basically, Cold described himself as being from the galaxy of Ganymede. He also supplied information about his life and like that he's from this planet called Lanulos and that people live there to be 125 to 175 Earth years.
And this is supposed to be real. This is a
this
real
is-
account.
Yeah, people studied this guy, Darren Berger,
Okay.
and there's nothing wrong with him. So either he's making
Interesting.
it all up
Okay.
or like it's actually happening.
So again, where does the Mothman come in?
Just hold on.
Okay,
Hold on.
alright,
there's
alright.
a whole story here.
I'm sorry.
You're getting
Okay.
antsy.
I am.
So, let's see. Hold on. He was mentally and psychologically sound. Like, there's nothing wrong with him. But, apparently, at one point, he even went to Lanulos. Okay, but anyways, that's besides the point.
And this all, let's see.
Then it goes into Mothman sightings. So, like, 10 days later after that encounter with Mr. Cold, Mothman starts showing up in Point Pleasant, and then it keeps going, you know, all these Mothman sightings and the bridge collapse, and then it picks up again right after the bridge collapse. And so, December 15th, 1967, a reporter named Mary Heyer, who was the Point Pleasant correspondent for the Athens, Ohio newspaper, The Messenger. Have you heard The Messenger?
I think I read about the messenger.
Ooh. So after the collapse, during one weekend, she gets over 500 reports of seeing lights in the sky. So there's like some UFO activity going on. And then this is where it gets like weird, and I think you might want to tell the story, Alex, about the woman working late in her office.
Okay.
Where did you guys find this stuff?
Just, I don't know.
I looked up Taken by Mothman.
Oh, God.
And it led to a very eye-opening experience. So one night in January 1967, Mary Heyer was working late in her office at the county courthouse.
Courthouse.
Courthouse. What did I say?
You said courthouse?
Courthouse? Question mark? And the man walked in the door. He was very short, and he had strange eyes that were covered with thick glasses.
Danny DeVito?
I'm the garbage man. He had long... Eli's completely lost interest and has gone on his phone.
What? No.
Wait, what's
This is for the gram.
That's for the gram. Live recording. He had long black hair that was cut like a bowl haircut. Hire said that he spoke in a low, halting voice. He was not interested in the Mothman or the bridge collapse. Instead, he was asking questions about the people who reported seeing the strange lights in the sky. Also, he asked for directions to West Virginia. She thought he had some sort of speech impediment, and for some reason, he terrified her. It could have been the bad haircut. He kept getting closer and closer to me, and his eyes were staring at me hypnotically.
Which is really weird and disturbing.
She was so frightened that she called the newspaper's manager into her office, where they spoke to the strange man. She said that at one point in the discussion, she had to answer the telephone when it rang, and she noticed that the man picked up a pen from her desk. He gazed at it with astonishment, as if he had never seen a pen before. And then he took the pen, laughed loudly, and ran out of the building.
What?
Yeah, it's so weird. A couple weeks later, Hire was crossing the street near her office and said that she saw the same man on the street. And he was startled when he realized that she was watching him, and he turned away quickly and ran for a large black sedan that just appeared around the corner.
Yeah.
And the man climbed in it, and it drove away.
So basically, this guy walks in their office. It's like, yeah, so I hear you got some calls about people seeing lights in the sky.
Oh, is this like a supposed man in black?
Yeah.
This is where
okay.
it comes from.
And so she's just like weirded out, and then she has to answer the phone, and he's just like, whoa, what's this? What is this sexy piece of machinery I'm looking at? They're like, it's a pen.
And then they run out and modify it and so they can zap you and erase your memory.
Yeah.
But
he
go ahead.
There's
I
more?
mean, he just looked at the pen and laughed loudly and ran out.
He took the pen with him,
He-
right?
he grabbed that pen
He
theft.
stole that. It was all a ploy to steal a pen.
It was all the marketing campaign by Bic back in 1967.
So,
Pens so good, strange men will steal them.
so this is relevant because it
It's
happened
happening,
before and
and after,
after
and
the Mothman sightings.
and it's in Point Pleasant.
Yeah.
And not
In
only
Point
this.
Pleasant.
We're like knees deep in Point Pleasant. And all this weird stuff's happening.
Well, I guess, yeah. But here's another sighting of Men in Black there
Yeah.
as well. Because the same night that office lady talked about seeing this guy, an identically described man visited the homes of several people in the area who had reported seeing these lights. And he made all of them feel uncomfortable. And he was just like really weird. And there's a whole book written on this, and I wish I would have like found it online or something and just like this is what I find most fascinating, is that this guy running up to people's houses, asking them about the lights, and then they're
But
like,
not the Mothman. Just
not
the
Mothman,
lights.
just
Yeah.
the lights, but the lights appeared after Mothman showed up. So like, is Mothman an alien or what?
Wait, were the lights showed up simultaneously with the Mothman, or only
Well, Mothman disappeared after the bridge collapse.
Right. So when
And
did
then
the
the
lights
lights
show
showed up.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it was Mothman, bridge collapse, lights.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then this dude, he's all like, "What do you think about the lights?" And then they're
How
like,
many have you seen?
They're like, "Where are you from?"
Ohio,
And
eh?
he's like, "I'm from Cambridge, Ohio." And then, not only that, he later admits that he doesn't know where Columbus, Ohio is.
South.
Apparently he doesn't know where it is.
Actually, that's probably
Yeah.
a incorrect statement for many parts of Ohio. Columbus is south of Canton. That's all I know.
They asked him, they're like, where are you from? He's like, I'm from Ohio. They're like, really? From where? He's like, I gotta be honest with you. I don't believe in Ohio.
I don't believe it. So, like, we don't know who this guy was. Is it Mr. Cold?
Yeah.
Is
Did
it-
you get his first name?
I got Indrid
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess at some point he told some people his name was Indrid.
from Lanulos.
Oh,
And
okay.
everybody walks around naked, apparently. That's what Darren Berger said. But anyways, I know a lot of people made a whole lot of money off of Mr. Cold, so like it's very possible that he's not even real.
Mr. Cold, if you're out there, please tweet us. Or
Yeah, drop us a line.
You'll be driving your car and he'll just start talking to you.
Yeah.
I don't have a car, so that's great.
You'll be walking around.
Actually, I repeal that invitation. I don't want to see. I don't want to talk. I don't want anything telepathically in my mind. Please, just let me be normal.
It's crazy because the Indrid Cold in the story with Woodrow Derenberger was retold in like a famous song.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Ice Ice Baby.
I hate you so much. Oh my god.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Is that subject closed? Is that
Yeah,
the end
that's
of
it.
that
That's
story?
that's
Okay.
the end
So
of
we
it.
got
It's really weird.
We got owls,
Herons.
interdimensional tourists that
Yeah.
are mooning us
Mhm.
when they visit. We got Men in Black, Strange Lights, over West Virginia.
Well, there's been other sightings of a Mothman like creature around the
Mhm.
world. So like the Point Pleasant Mothman was apparently like done after the bridge collapse. Like no more sightings,
He laid low
no
for a
more in
while.
West Virginia.
Yeah.
But if we go back to the idea that like the Mothman is like a
The
a-
harvester
a-
of doom.
Oh.
a person who warns like of tragedies
Mm.
coming, because there was a Mothman sighting in Moscow that supposedly foreshadowed the 1999 Russian apartment bombings, which I don't know much about. It's
I
just
thought you were
kind
gonna.
of a
I got
fact.
Chernobyl, but that was fake. But that I did not get.
Yeah, and then
He's in Germany. Did you guys get that one?
Mm-mm.
On September 10th, 1978, a group of miners in Freiburg, Germany, came face to face with a seemingly headless creature with glowing red eyes on its chest, blocking the entrance of a mine. Because they were it's a group of miners, right?
Yeah.
They're the guys that go on the ground and dig stuff. It
Mhm.
wasn't like a group of kids.
Right. So not just like some random explorers. Like they were supposed to be there.
Yeah, at first I thought it was a man in a trench coat, but they realized it was not a coat, but large black wings. They remained at the entrance, stunned and staring at it, till it let out a blood-curdling screech that sent them running away. And then about an hour later, there was a huge seismic rumble, and a bunch of dust shot out of the mine as it collapsed.
Whoa.
And so this time...
So another like warning.
Yeah,
kind of?
nobody died, and they called it the Freiburg Shrieker, and they thanked it
Interesting.
for saving the lives.
Hmm.
So that was a good Mothman. in
What about
Germany.
the one in Chicago? I don't know if anything bad
In
happened after
Chicago.
that.
Well,
People
there's
just saw
a
it,
ton.
right?
Doesn't that go back to the list that we mentioned
Like
about?
the gargoyles.
Yeah, gargoyles.
Yeah,
Like there's
just
there's tons of winged creature sightings
Yeah.
in Chicago for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's tied to anything specific. I
Yeah.
could be wrong, but I didn't find anything.
I don't know.
I guess Mothman was maybe hanging around the Twin Towers.
Yeah, I read about
I
that.
don't know about that. That looks pretty fake to me.
Yeah, it's. They said that they saw it through the smoke, and I was like, really, dude?
Oh, because I got this picture.
Which looks
It's like
incredibly
it
fake.
says
I've been told that picture's from Chicago.
a week before 9/11 attacks.
I don't know.
Oh,
It's-
I've seen that
before?
picture floating around. I've been trying
Yeah.
to find the story behind it, but I can't.
Huh.
Like, where's that? Who took that photo? I'm gonna track them down, beat them up. Just kidding.
Let's see. Chicago. He was just trying to get a deep dish pizza, and people won't leave him alone.
Now I want pizza.
Oh yeah. Oh, this guy by the name of Chicago Man.
Florida man.
Where's his first name?
Chicago.
Chicago.
Last name man.
First name, Mister. Last name,
Chicago
Glass.
man.
Esquire. Amatrano is the only name I'm showing up. He said that he was out at the bar with his friends, and then he saw this thing that had big muscular legs, a jutting tailbone, a
Back to
human
the
le-
legs.
Yeah,
I know what the gargoyle is.
the swole legs.
Yeah.
He said that he saw it flying around, but he had his phone charging at the station, so he couldn't take a
course.
picture of it.
Really?
And he laughed, and then he cried for a while.
What?
No, it's just... It's always that one guy who just is like, I saw the thing, but I didn't have my phone.
I just wanted to live in the moment, you know?
Yeah, live in the moment, guys. Come on. These phones are...
I found another one, some picture this guy took in Point Pleasant. Just recent, like 2014, I think it was. And then they're like, oh yeah, that's Mothman. And they're like, he was like, I don't even know what Mothman is.
I think it's 2016 because I think
yeah?
I think it's a picture taken by an anonymous man, right?
Yeah.
He didn't give his name while driving Route 2. But people say it's just like
It's
a bird
with a
carrying
snake
a
in its-
frog or a snake.
Yeah. Which, once I read that, I was like, I can see that. And now
Yeah.
I can't unsee it. So I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah. I think the guy was just trying to like get publicity and was like, oh, let me see if I can. But then again, he didn't give his name, so who really knows?
Yeah.
But I mean, you were talking about living in the moment just a second ago, and you can totally live in the moment when you go to the Mothman Festival.
Oh yeah.
In Point Pleasant?
Mm-hmm. It had the first annual Mothman Festival in 2002.
What did they do?
Well, first, I think we mentioned it briefly in the last episode. I don't remember, but there's a 12-foot tall Mothman statue that's
I found the live feed.
metallic. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
because
that's
I
right.
told you about. There is a live feed that just
And it
is filming the Mothman statue in
Yeah.
Point Pleasant. So if you ever go there, actually, oh my gosh, I just remembered. Somebody that I follow on Instagram, someone that I went to college with, I was just scrolling on my feed and saw a picture of her boyfriend in front of the Mothman statue.
Whoa.
And I was like, whoa, wait a second, we're talking about the Mothman on Cryptid Campfire. And she said, let me go to my notifications real quick and see what exactly she said. She didn't say much about it, but I think she just said that it was like really creepy. Her name is Bethany. So she posted it. Her caption for the photo says, "Happy quarter of a century to the love of my life." So I don't
to
know.
Mothman.
I don't know if it's her husband or her boyfriend actually. But then she says, "May you see many more Mothman butts. Hashtag Mothman is real." And she said that it was definitely a strange and eerie place and that the museum was sweet. So there's
They
also a museum.
They sculpted the butt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. He's got like abs. He's got like
Does he?
beaks. He has like a beak and like big red eyes. They gave him a big old butt.
Yeah, but if
he's trophy tall.
yeah, it was created by artist and sculptor Bob Roach, and it was unveiled in 2003. So yeah, there's a live feed of the statue for some reason. So
I
the
logged on
website.
it at 9 p.m.
The website says people from all over the world travel to Point Pleasant to spend a little selfie time with the famous Mothman statue. Now you can watch Mothman's biggest fans here on our 24-hour Mothcam. But if anyone's interested in going to the 18th annual Mothman Festival, it is being held on September 21st and 22nd of this year, 2019.
Ooh.
There will be live music, merchandise from various vendors, great food, and speakers. Now I'm just plugging the Mothman Festival.
Yeah, now
Dude, now we gotta go.
Now they have to pay for our
Listen,
flights
do you
out.
know how many times we've said we're going to go somewhere and we haven't gone anywhere? We have had zero Cryptid
Jasmine,
Campfire
we've only
field
been
trips.
around for 4 months now.
It's true.
we can do it still.
But can you guys take a guess at how many people go to the festival every year?
50,000.
Oh God, no, not that many.
60,000?
No, down, Eli.
A million?
Eli.
25 really good friends.
Roughly 2,000 to 4,500 people go every year.
We should go and ask if we can get $1 from each and one of them. That'd be like $2,000 to $4,000.
But yeah, it's a weekend-long event.
All right.
Variety of fun times and vendors.
What kind of
and
food do they have?
Pancakes.
Mothman pancakes.
Mothman pancake eating contests. Yeah.
With cherries, fries?
Probably, most likely. And there's hayride tours focusing on the notable areas of Point Pleasant. It sounds like a fun time. And then, of course, as Bethany did, you've got to go to the Mothman Museum and Research Center, which opened in 2005. That's where you can go see, like, original police reports and newspaper clippings.
Whoa.
And then there's also props from the Mothman prophecies there.
Whoa.
Heyo. Cool, man.
Thanks for that, Jasmine. That was really cool.
Yeah, and thank
Yeah.
you for Bethany and her 25 years of loving Mothman.
Oh, man. I should know more about her, but I don't.
All right, that's the next mystery.
Next week we're talking about Bethany.
Bethany,
Bethany,
Bride of the Mothman.
I don't think you'll ever listen to this, but if you do, I'm sorry, but thank you.
Yeah.
So we had some fun talking about the Mothmans, the possible explanations, the Men in Blacks.
Yeah, does
anything else you
anybody
guys wanna-
any other closing comments about the Mothman?
I guess we've never mentioned the fact that it took place in West Virginia, and there's that song about West Virginia.
Oh no, what is it?
Country Roads.
Oh no, that just makes me think of Kingsman 2.
Also, that movie was like in 5 movies. That song was in 5 movies. So
Was it in Mothman Prophecies?
Maybe. Is it?
We'll find out next
Country
week, I
Roads,
guess.
Take Me Home, Mountain Mothman.
West Virginia. Oh man, now I want to cry. Go see Kingsman 2, everyone, or go rent it or something. It's
And don't forget to tweet Pedro
Merlin.
Pascal about the gargoyles.
Yeah, at Pedro Pascal. What do you think about gargoyles? What do you think
Um,
about the NASA incident from 1988?
But next week you can look forward to our Cryptid Campfire review of Mothman Prophecies.
Ooh, we're doing something new.
Yeah. We're gonna try something new. We're gonna do like a movie review, and we're just gonna talk about the movie. We're gonna watch it together next week, and then jump on the mic.
I've seen it like once, a long time ago.
I've
But
never
I've
seen it.
You guys haven't seen it,
Mm-mm.
so I have like vague recollections of it. But we're gonna get together. We're gonna watch Mothman Prophecies with Richard Gere, and then we're gonna do I guess we're gonna do a review of it and see how it lines up with the research.
We'll just chat, see what happens.
Yeah.
Heck yeah! So we want to thank you for tuning in to this real sporadic episode of
Yeah.
Cryptid Campfire Part 2 of Mothman.
Yeah, thanks for sticking with us on our experimental 2-part podcast. I guess it'll technically be 3 parts because we're gonna be talking about the movie next week.
And
but
stick around for Bigfoot month.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Coming soon to
Yeah.
theater near you.
In March, I guess.
Yeah, what the hell?
All right.
All right.
Sounds good. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Wait. We gotta do our Twitter handles and our
course,
thank
of
yous
course.
and all our hullabaloos and howdy doos. If you wanna ask me any questions about Mothman, Godzilla movies, or whatever, you can @ me at AlexDaikaiju on Twitter. That's Alex DAIKAIJU. If I want to talk to you about Kingsman 2,
If you want to talk to me about Pedro Pascal or Andy Grammer or Robert
Or-
Downey Jr.
or the Yeti,
the Yeti or Cryptids or
Yeah.
Cryptid
the
Campfire.
whole reason we do this podcast.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Jasmine May W. That's JasmineMaeW. Eli, where can the people find you?
If
Yeah.
you want to ask me about movies, if you want to ask me about vampires,
If I want to ask you a question about Big Chungus.
and if you want to ask me about Big Chungus, I'm receiving. Those are open till the end of the week.
DMs are open.
You can find me at EJ Workshop on Twitter. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking with us, guys.
Yeah, we'll see you next week, everybody.